Geekdomo. Shut up.
What?
Yay!
What's good, guys?
That's awesome. Perfect, just like transition from their show right into our show, like we had it all planned out this way. It's a
Absolutely
good.
did.
It's a good. Well, welcome to StarCast Postcast Cast. So, hello everybody who's coming over from the other stream. Or I know you just got through watching 4 hours of Chris Roberts and a terrible Ben Lesnick Skype connection. Made my brain ache.
Yeah, seriously, they needed to lower the treble on that about, I don't know, 5-6 notches at least. It was just like a spiky mess, like they were driving spikes in my ears.
Yeah, I
Turn
was
up
wearing
some manly
headphones.
baritone.
I had to turn it down, but no, it wasn't so much the treble. I think it was just their Skype connection was ass. Like, it was really bad.
That basement internet connection.
They're in their basement, and I know they are leaving soon. They're going to go to their brand new offices that has their own tech center and their own server rack farm and all that. They just need to get somewhere where they have Google Fiber, and there would not have been a problem.
Yes.
They got one of them 300 baud modems with acoustic couplers on it at the new office, because that's where they...
And they stick it in there with that there rammer frammer and hook it up with the jank.
In the inner tubes, yeah.
In the inner tubes.
We should just talk about this in the entire podcast.
It would be great. Oh, Google Fiber isn't there until next year. Well, that's okay. Just still get better internet. They have to have something better than the
Next year's like 34 days away.
Yeah. They're using dial-up right now, and it's terrible.
I think that's the truth.
It is the truth. Okay, so lots of great stuff to talk about tonight.
I know.
First off, welcome everybody. Welcome to the cast. I'm Geekdomo, and we have Pancakes, Perfekt Nerd, CoreofexisteNz, and Trendane. If you're new to the show, we're basically just 5 guys that sit around and just talk crap about Star Citizen. We're not developers. We don't know them. They won't return any of my calls, and I do have a restraining order now.
But if 5 Guys wants to sponsor us and give us free hamburgers, they are more than welcome to.
Absolutely. We are totally willing to whore ourselves out for hamburgers.
Hamburger. It'll be great. So the premise of the show is that we just sit around, we talk about it. We are going to be doing a lot of theory crafting and see, maybe come up with different ideas of things we're going to talk about tonight. But we do have a lot of facts that just were released in this 4-hour stream that we all just got through finishing, so we can talk about that.
For the first time, we have actual facts.
Exactly.
Actual facts.
Which
and
we
yet,
still screw up.
I gotta say, the delivery of these facts is pretty much, it's just like our delivery. They're like, yeah, we think we're gonna do this, and we're pretty sure we're gonna do something like this, and
exactly.
That's what we do.
The whole time I was watching it, I'm like,
Cool.
It sounds like us doing our stream. They're like, we might do this, and we might do that, which is a lot like us. Oh yeah, by the way, before we get started, 2 things I want to talk about, or the housekeeping. If you guys want to ask questions, just like over on that stream, just put the question in a bracket, and we'll answer them the best we can. And second off, we have some awesome stuff here. Let's see, where is it? I lost it.
And for the record, hey, Guido, I'm going to tell you that this it's not actually a robe, it's a shawl. And I think I stole it from EA back on Spore, I think. And yeah, I think that's where I got it. I don't know, or maybe I mugged a small Mexican woman and took it from her. I don't know. It's a little chilly in the house. I just wanted to throw something extra on,
One second. I'm just going to talk amongst yourselves for just a second.
Oh my God, that's when we always get in trouble.
Can't do it. We have no direction.
That is bad news.
Can't handle this.
So I'm quitting smoking.
As he lights
Quitting?
up another one.
Present tense?
After that one.
I had to make a new title. I apologize.
I quit after every one.
It's the easiest thing in the world to quit. I've done it 1,000 times.
You just quit before you started another one. It's like a new way of failing.
No, I said I'm quitting after. You know.
All right, so another
Okay.
thing I want to talk about is last week we decided, without asking Trendane, we just did it on our own. He didn't make us do this under duress or restraining order. We decided that
It's the
Trendane's
opposite.
computer, he has a Core 2 Duo, 6 kilobytes of RAM, and a squirrel in a treadmill that runs his computer. And so he needs a little help. And he cannot. And the guy loves Star Citizen.
Wire and like tinfoil.
He's got
kinda
wire and
set up.
tinfoil, yeah. And he loves Star Citizen. He loves EverQuest Next. He can't play either one of these games because his computer is just so old and like dirt. So we decided let's just. People were saying they would donate if we had some way to donate to Trendane, and we decided to set this up. So if you go to that address down below Trendane's name there, bit.ly/Trendane, it'll take you to a Fundly site, and we just made a modest goal of $1,000, $995, which was the price for all the parts that he needed to get his computer built. And we blew past it. We're way past it now. We're like at $1,100, and people are still donating because they'd like to see him buy a ship. Because even though he could play Star Citizen, he could only literally afford.
He still hasn't pledged.
He still hasn't pledged yet because he doesn't actually technically have this money yet. So there is a little bit of administration fees from Fundly. So we're going to try to go over a little bit if we can, so that we can pay for the administration fees, and he'll still have enough money to buy himself maybe an Idris or something like that. Plus a computer with laser beams and
You sure he's not going to steal an address?
You should be able to get an interest for free. I mean,
He's got to have those Twitch
It's already happened
reflexes that
once.
get. He's got to have those Twitch reflexes that get you an Idris.
like Core. Core got an Idris tonight. Congratulations, Core. Everybody
you.
congratulate
Thank you.
Core.
yeah, good job, Core.
You're the one that crashed the site, weren't you?
Can we now set up a charity for my wife so she can have something to eat? later
Yeah,
this week?
we saw her slapping you while we were setting up the
We
cameras.
saw you trying to smooth talk her.
like baby,
It's
it's
like all in pantomime.
I
It's
had
okay.
my mic muted. You do not know what was said.
Oh, I'm married. I know what it's like. Yeah. You were like, baby, it's okay, baby. You don't need to have food. Yeah, it's all right. I got myself a
I must
ship.
say though,
You
Core,
like noodles, right, wife? Go ahead.
I gotta say, Core, with you smoking the cigarette, it's like you're like this crime boss who you crashed the RSI site personally just so nobody else could get an
I
interest.
just brought that down.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
no, it wasn't me.
Let's go over some of the stuff they talked about. I guess we get started. Where do we want to start? In the beginning?
That's usually the best place.
Okay, so they were talking about instances and capital ships, and a lot of times on this show, we do sit down and we talk about what's going to happen when I want to bring my Idris in and fight Core's Idris.
Idri.
Idri. When the two Idri come together, how many other ships can come in and everything like that. They did say that capital ships will be confirmed, but instances will allow for multiple groups, not just a single group. So we all belong to a very large guild called Imperium, and they by themselves could probably fill up an entire instance. And what they said was they are not going to stop that from happening. Basically, they'll allow maybe 3/4 of one group to come in, but the rest of the slots will be random.
Right. So so it's actually not that complicated the way it works. You have a set number of people in an instance, and for each one of those people, you have slots reserved for your friends and guildmates or whatever, and you have slots reserved for capital ships. So you can be denied access to an instance even though the instance is not technically full because there are slots that are reserved. So you can't just take over an instance if you want to.
Right. What do you guys
Take everything?
That was actually the 3 minutes that I was in the bathroom when they talked
Oh, you
about
missed
that.
that
Just saved your ass.
Yeah.
They did start. They also talked a little bit about the dogfighting module. Basically, it's going to start out with Hornets, and maybe 300 Is, 300 Rs. That sort of variant, single seat fighter type things are going to start off with the dogfighting module. So, and I asked this question, but they didn't answer it. If that we'll be able to use our own ships. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Probably
No, I
not.
don't think it'll rely on your own ships. I think it'll have more to do with the way that they're going to stagger the releases of the ships. As in, for instance, when they first come out with the dogfighting module, they might have the Aurora and a 300 in there, and you get to test them out. You get to fly them, and you get to deal with them as you please. And as they start releasing more and more ships, you'll be able to fly them at leisure. I mean, that's the way that they've always talked about the dogfighting module. That it's not going to be reliant on what you have in your hangar.
Real quick, And Booze says, I lost the last 15 minutes of the stream. Did I miss anything important? Yes. Because I didn't get a chance to record it.
But that's all we're going to tell you.
We're going to tell you it was great, and I didn't get it. No. What they said is...
It's like a chair and a machine
You're
gun.
going to be able to sit down. They're going to be... You'll be able to load through your holodeck module there, like different weapon systems. You'll be able to sit in a chair and fire them at some dummies that are against the wall, like target dummies, and you shoot at them with different weapon systems. You can try out the Gatling gun, laser, beam weapons, whatever. So...
Yep, basically you'll have a firing range.
In your hangar.
In your hangar.
Yeah. That was the last 15 minutes.
What do you guys think about the AI? They said that it will have different levels of aggressiveness and capabilities.
Yeah, I don't think they really went too deeply into that, and that kind of bothered me. I mean, he basically just went, yeah, we'll have hard, and we'll have medium, and we'll have easy. And those are the levels. And that was it. That was the whole... That was answering the question. So it kind of bothered me that they kind of handled it like that, but it will mean that, certain AI will react more aggressively or react differently than other AI, which is good. But unfortunately, if the question had been slightly different and it had been about NPC levels, I would have been much more interested to see their response.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did go into it a little bit, talking about I have 4 pages of notes here. So they did go into a little bit. So they have AI profiles, which are basically behavioral presets. I'm pretty sure this is what they're going to use. So if you set on easy difficulty, Squadron 42, then you'll probably engage like timid opponents. Whereas they'll have a different preset behavior, or they'll have a different behavior profile if you set it on a hard difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
So they talked about AI a lot in terms of Squadron 42, and they said that they were really vague about the whole adaptable / learning AI as a goal. They're like, yeah, we want to do this. That's sort of it's in the works. So I think what they're doing with AI is a lot of R&D right now. They're trying a lot of things out, and they have a general idea of what they want to do for Squadron 42, but I think that. And how they want to set up different profiles for NPCs, but they aren't sure exactly how the AI is going to be implemented in the persistent universe. Like Core was saying, we don't know anything about the actual NPC behavioral profiles, how that's going to work.
And if we are going to get a learning AI, I predict Skynet.
Skynet would be great.
We're pumping enough money into it,
Yeah, we are going to build Skynet.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I would love to see them at least look at Storybricks. I mean, it's not owned by Sony. It's actually a separate company that does AI, and I'd like to see them consider using something like that. I think it would make a much more robust AI experience, but who knows? For those who are not familiar with Storybricks, it's a really amazingly complex AI system that you can build literally as you go. They can put in wants and needs for the characters, and the characters are sort of compelled to do these certain things.
Basically, you're building a brick wall of story.
Mm-hmm. Story bricks.
As the story unfolds, whether you go with this brick or go with that brick, the AI changes its behavior, which is fucking awesome.
I'm waving everybody. Hi, Jam2. Hi, I got at Minecraft. Thank you for coming.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Yay. All right, next thing. Really, really awesome, because I'm a graphic artist, and I don't want my ship, even the freelancer, which now I'm actually a Starfarer owner, and a Starfarer and a
Space trucker
Aurora.
confirmed.
Yes, I am a space trucker. I got to wear my hat like this. Like, what's up? Anyway, the skins. You're going to be able to do your own skins. They're currently doing R&D similar to Brink or Rage. Have any of you guys played either one of these games, Brink or Rage?
I've played both.
Oh, okay. So what are they talking about? I mean, on War Thunder, for example, you can take like an image and stick it on your plane. So I mean, what's different between that sort of thing and what's happening with Brink or Rage?
Well, with Brink specifically, you could really customize. They did a lot with customizing the way your character could look. Specifically, I think what they were talking about was actually more of a tech thing than like the way it's actually set up. The problem with Brink was that there was really a lot of inconsistency across the visual language of the game. So you could not look at someone. It was because it's a team-based game. If you compare it to something like Team Fortress 2, where you look at a heavy and it's a big fat dude with a giant minigun, and you're like,
Right.
it's a heavy.
That's a heavy, yeah.
Right? Whereas in Brink, you couldn't tell if someone was like an engineer or something like that, because you had enough character customization that everything was kind of blurred together. So I think what they were really talking about was the tech behind it, where you would 1 second, let me just find it in my notes. Is that a ships? I think it's okay. So so they paint stuff onto textures, right? And I guess what at the end of the day, what happens is that you have textures are loaded in for certain players with little to no performance loss because of the methodology behind it. It's pretty complex. There's no need to get into it.
Well, what they did say is that they made enough money. They took 1 million of one of the 1 million goals, and they're putting it specifically into building a plugin for CryEngine to be able to do this.
Right.
Because CryEngine doesn't support this sort of layering textures that they're talking about doing here. And that doesn't have anything even to do with PBR, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Pretty awesome.
Which is awesome!
All right, so they also talked about loading and unloading your own ship. Basically, that's not going to happen. You're going to park, and then if you bought particular items like sheep, the sheep will get loaded on your ship. You can hop out your ship and go watch the sheep get loaded, but you don't necessarily have to watch them load the cubic sheep. And then when you get to wherever you're going, it just automatically unloads.
We're not going to have a cowboy simulator.
Cowboy simulator would be great.
Yeah, I think they're missing a good opportunity there.
Yeah.
And the PBR thing, I keep thinking it's Pabst Blue Ribbon.
They kept talking about
I kept thinking PBRs. Yeah.
But when they were talking about the loading and unloading cargo, whoever it was that had asked if you were going to have to do it yourself.
It was just somebody in chat. They didn't say their name.
Yeah. No. They were also kind of talking about the mobiGlas at the same time, and what came to mind was, you're walking through the cargo, section of your ship, and you bring up your mobiGlas, and you're like, okay, that one, unload them, and then you get out of the way, and like drones come in, and you've already tagged with your mobiGlas which ones you want removed.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing like 6 or 7 drops, in different star systems, because doing one run and then go back and get something, then come back and drop it off. If you can load everything into one thing and then just drop it. I know, it just seemed like tagging with the mobiGlas would be easier.
Yeah, it's probably a really good idea how they would go about doing that.
I'll be honest, I'm fine with it just going, there's this box here, which is in my ship, and there's a box here, which is the space station, and I just go drag, and then it's done.
Yeah.
And then I just fly away again. I'd be fine with that, but that's just,
No, there's certain people who want different levels of immersion. Some people really want it. There was some guy who was actually upset that he couldn't drive a forklift. Like, he's like, I really want to try a forklift.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But, you could go out and get a job where you do drive a forklift.
Here's my question for that guy. In what, even in the real world, if the person who drives the ship to bring the goods to some place does not get off the ship and get on a forklift.
Well, maybe not in the future, but there are some trucking jobs where you do that. Like, you actually are the guy who has to take it off the truck too.
A perfect example of this was the episode. What was it? Was it Kidnapped? The episode of Firefly where Bushwhacked. No,
Firefly.
I was thought you were talking about a show called Kidnapped. I'm like, I haven't seen that show, but I have seen all the episodes of Firefly about 6 times now. So.
Yeah, no, the one where they're dropping the cows off at January.
Yeah.
They had to unload the damn cows.
The cows that are standing around waiting at the fence to get them paid for. Yeah.
They weren't exactly at a spaceport.
No.
Although that whole thing was kind of, a a play on the space cowboy thing, considering that it was cows and he was a cowboy. But again, yes, no, I do see where you're coming from, but I would imagine flying around in my Idris or in my Starfare, I get to my destination and there's people just waiting there going, oh, the savior of the goods, and then, you know, they take my shit and then pay
The
me.
sun is behind you as you land on the dock, and the aria starts playing, and heaven's
Your hair is
ascending.
like blowing.
Yeah, and the wind.
Think Pedro
Exactly.
could do a good aria for that?
Yeah, Pedro. Well, I guess we can talk about Pedro a little bit.
Well, we can finish what we're talking about
no,
now.
that's okay. Let's see. I'm not even putting topics up tonight because we got just so much stuff to talk about.
And we broke 100 viewers, by the way.
Oh, congratulations! Oh, it's us.
Hey,
Yes.
everybody.
Yeah, they definitely broke 100 viewers.
Yeah, they did.
That's
They
us.
almost broke 20,000.
Yeah,
They were
right.
damn close to breaking 20,000. That's true.
Congratulations. Thanks everybody for showing up, by the way, and I want to give a special shout out again to Imperium because they're all here tonight. Look at them all.
Yay, Imperial.
Yeah.
Imperium. Which we need to speed up and get Trendane in there somehow, guys. So
Well, he's almost got money. I mean, Jesus.
yeah,
He's got $1,100, sort of.
he's getting there.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Next thing, how are the big ships going to land? And they said that they're going to probably do some sort of landing pad.
Well, they've talked about this before, but they have not really worked it out yet. But in the past, they've talked about outdoor landing pads.
What about outdoor at my space station? Because there's no landing.
Right, but it might just mean, you know, that there's a space dock that is big enough for your ship. It's just, you know, sort of near your hangar, but not in your hangar. But they've also commented in this particular stream saying that they don't have a clue because they haven't implemented any system for it yet.
Yeah, Banu Merchantman, it's all sort of backwards.
All right.
Well, yeah, that's actually a very
crafting
interesting
again.
point. The Banu Merchantman is comprised of 3 arcs, and one arc points straight down. Is it going to land on that tiny little arc, or is
I think
gonna
it's
be
a round
anti-grav,
spot in the back.
or-
I think it'll land on the round spot. Go ahead,
I think
pancakes.
it has to be like a dry dock where there would
Yeah.
be like supporting beams for it. So it would just be like 50 feet off the ground or whatever, and then there would be like, the sort of skeleton shell holding it up,
that
and then
you sort of
would-
land in.
Yeah.
I think it would be better if it balanced on that one tip
Yeah,
of the arc,
yeah,
and then we have 2 monkeys on each side, juggling.
perfect counterweights.
Tossing a marble back and forth between
There
each bed.
And the whole time you're inside going, come on, monkeys, hurry up.
I got some shitty monkeys. One guy's monkeys are like defective and they keep tipping it over.
You can never trust space monkeys.
Yeah,
Again,
best monkeys there are.
I wind up going back to, again, Firefly Serenity. When they show up to drop off the money to Fanti and Mingo, and Serenity is basically hanging in midair, and those 4 support struts come up at the bottom and grab a hold of it, and then that one thing clamps down on the top. And the same sort of thing is what I was thinking when I saw the Merchantman, is you would have to have an area that has kind of a slot for that center keel to go into, and then it would basically kind of grab a hold of the thing. The other thing that came to mind was, the design of the Banu ships, the Xi'an ships, are so vertical, and why are they so vertical? And I started thinking about it from a lore perspective, and I actually went during the stream to Wikipedia to try to find any reason why it would be this way. And I thought perhaps if their species was originally arboreal or resided in cliffs or whatever, and so in the forest you can't have a ship that is spread out this way. Everything would have to be very, very vertical to be able to navigate between the trees. Next breath. And and so you get to a point where they would dock like that, vertically, and they would have things that would come in and grab the ships from either side. That could explain why
It kind of reminds me of Independence Day, where in the end they fly that little ship with the big fucking thing on top into the mothership, and the clamps just grabbing on top, and it's landed like that.
It's landed, yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure there'll be some way they'll work this out.
Pretty sure they'll do that for larger ships too. Like, think about how they'll have to have like space dry docks for like the Bengal carriers and even like the Idris and stuff like that. They'll probably have. I don't know. I'm thinking of the way they show it in like some of the Star Wars fiction, where Star Destroyers would be like like sitting in the middle of space, just like attached to something else, like attached to a gigantic rig.
Well, that's what Core and I were talking a little bit earlier about how do you get into your Starfarer, and you could literally take an Aurora and fit it in where one of those tanks goes. So you could land on the planet or wherever it is you're doing, or do some mining with that smaller ship, come back, dock it with the bigger one, and then go in your ship that way.
Yeah, that's because the reason why it came, why the topic came up was because we were talking about the Starfarer Gemini variant, of which we heard a lot 3 months ago and heard nothing.
They basically skirted the question. Somebody asked them directly about the Gemini today, and they just said, later.
Well,
Soon,
it's because
TM.
it's in the in one of the letters. I think the latest letter actually, they talked about the Gemini, saying that there was there wasn't as much enthusiasm for the Starfarer Gemini as there was for the Freelancer variants. So instead, they just shelved the Gemini until whenever.
Soon, TM.
Yeah.
All right, so...
wait. Now, I didn't explain it.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
For people that don't know, the Gemini is actually a carrier, which is just the tanker version, except the gas tank's removed, and it's a carrier instead of an actual freighter. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it can carry like 4 or 6 Hornets or something underneath his belly.
That we don't know.
Don't know for sure. All right, so then they went on to talk about dogfighting. And most of the team in California and in Austin are working hard on it because they're trying to get it done by the first of the year. And Chris Roberts basically said today, don't kill me if it's not out by the first of the year. So it looks like that's going to slip back a little bit.
Well, let's be honest. Who expected it to really be out before the end?
Some people did. There's a little bit of nerd rage going on, I saw.
There's always going to be nerd rage.
There's always
nerd rage. But I think most of us who've realized that Chris hasn't really talked about it that extensively over the last month or so, realized that it wasn't going to come out, in December, because if it was going to come out in December, everyone would be like, Chris Roberts would even be like, oh, I got this, and I want to show you this, and we've got this ready, and, when he started talking about, oh, we got all these parts, and they all fit together, but they're not really finished or anything. So it's just like, okay, that's fine, Chris, take your time.
That's why they're giving us the gun thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that's the only thing we
Sit
can
in your
use.
hangar and shoot the minigun.
Play with this.
Play with his, like, here's a toy.
It's responsible parenting. That's what it is.
It is, here. Take this teddy bear, go sit in the corner and play.
Toy. Don't bother me. Trying to work.
Stop shooting so loud.
Exactly. So they did talk about the dogfighting module, and they said there are going to be different damage states, and I'm glad to hear that because I've been watching a couple of videos by our friend Anything FPS, and he did one where he's literally in space and he's just picking up, I think they were caterpillars, I'm not 100% sure, but he's just flinging them at an asteroid and they're just exploding in pieces, and he's just like flinging out more and flinging out more. Pretty soon he had more than the engine could handle. It literally popped up on the screen and says there's no more models can be entered into this scene. But every time it hit the asteroid, all that came off were like these little shard pieces, and I was like, oh my god, please tell me they're going to be doing more damage. And they did say that they were going to have many different damage states, meaning that you'll have like a wing that when it's first hit might only have like a little bit of like scarring on it, and then if it's hit a few more times, little pieces of the plates will come off, and then more parts will come off, and pretty soon the gun will be exposed, and pretty soon the gun will go offline. So the more and more you hit something, the more damage it's doing, but it's going to come off in tiny little pieces and particles.
Was it titled Copy Paste Carnage?
Yes, that was the one from
copy
Anything.
paste something.
Yeah, he was literally copy pasting some ship, I don't remember which one it was, and flinging them at an asteroid.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
Yeah. So a couple of things I got in my notes here. Landing gear can also be damaged, so that can make landing really difficult or impossible. Lights and warning states on the cockpit console or on your HUD that will indicate what the damage is and where it is. There's sparks coming off damaged parts, and damage states can affect piping systems. And
let me ask you what that is, because that's what I wanted to know too. They kept going, it's about this piping system. I'm like, what are we talking about? Conduits? What
piping system?
Yeah,
I mean, if it's the plumbing, that'll be hilarious because you just have liquid all over your floor.
Space shit. It's all coming out the side of the ship. It's all like little bubbles of poo.
And you can maneuver and splash it in somebody else's cockpit.
Yeah, as you're spinning three-dimensionally.
Breaks our sensors.
It's fligging out.
Plumbing
no-
confirmed.
Plumbing is confirmed, but I don't know what the piping system was either. That was strange to me. But the one thing they did is like harping on this was really cool. That there's right now at least 72 different lights in the Hornet, and most consoles, even the new Xbox One or PS4, can only do 50 lights maximum. So they're already like, we did 25 more lights than it can be done on a console. Neener.
Looks like the pipes are to transfer energy and heat around the ship,
Oh, okay. Heat pipes.
according to our wonderful chat.
Thank you so much.
Chat, you're awesome.
Thank you, chat.
Much smarter. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's just let you guys do the show.
Right now, the reason I think they said they're not really ready is because there's all these different systems that in the game are just like, oh, there's my avionics. But they're actually supposed to function like real, because this is supposed to be a sim, not necessarily an arcade fighter. So because it's a sim, they have to get the power plant working, they have to get avionics working, radar, cooling, battery, life support, weapon control, HUD. All these different subsystems are all going to break down in combat, so they have to actually function like the real systems do, so that when your HUD gets partially taken down, it's sort of flickering and not working right, or if your life support's going down, all of a sudden you have to put your mask on and breathe through that, whatever. The toilet has to work.
It would be preferable.
Get that nice seat toilet. Same
Oh,
zero.
it would be so horrible that you just survive an engagement and you're like, oh, I gotta take a shit, and you sit down on that toilet and it shoots shit right back in your face
No.
because the plumbing was hit.
In space, it would be like a vacuum. It would suck you through.
I mean, maybe if it was like empty, it would just be like water. It'd be like one of those
A bidet.
bidets. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bidet of shit. Yeah, that's a nice image.
Well, that's what he meant. Maybe if it was empty.
Oh, right.
Got really lucky.
So while we're chatting about what they talked about at the in the stream, guys, make sure you can ask questions. Just put them in brackets over here, and Pancakes is gathering them up as we speak. All right. What else? Let's see. They confirmed something before Christmas to play with, and that was the shooting thing in the hangar.
Yes, unfortunately, the dogfighting module has currently been replaced with the firing range, but it's hollow reprieve, but
It's something to play with.
It's
it's
something.
something.
We knew it
it's-
wasn't going to come out. We let's be honest. We knew it wasn't going to come out this year.
We've been saying it for like the last 6 podcasts, so yeah, we knew something.
But just
We
like
had-
Santa, we want to believe.
We had that December date like 3.5, 4 months ago or something,
Yeah,
and we were just
and it
like,
was so
exactly.
quiet. It was so quiet.
deadly quiet.
They wouldn't say anything. It
And
was
you know
just
that
like-
if it was close, they'd be telling us, because they're pretty transparent about everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
They have to be. We are providing all of their money kind of up front. So it behooves them.
Well, we're
in
their
the
board of
extreme.
directors in a way. We're their investors.
Kind of.
Yeah.
We are currently sort of kind of their publishers.
So they have
I mean-
to tell us as it's going.
You can
Because-
also donate to Trendane Fund.
Because look, I'm not trying to start anything here, but we are technically kind of a little bit their publishers, because if they lose our faith, they've got nothing
It's true. Except for $32 million.
except for our money.
Which is not a bad take to walk away with.
Yeah.
It's not.
But I
Oh, the Idrises are back? And anybody who's watching, go get an Idris, but just do it in another tab. Don't leave the tab.
Idrises are not. Are they back? Well, they're probably gone now.
Cogsworth just said they're back.
It's been 16 seconds. They're probably all
They're
gone.
gone. They had
they're-
300,000 of them, and they're all gone in 60 seconds.
GG.
Oh, he's trolling us. Bad, Cogsworth. Bad.
Oh, you're trolling. Oh my god.
The funny thing is, if you stick around till the end, you might have info.
Maybe.
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 We don't know. All right, next thing I just went on to talk about was Squadron 42. They confirmed friendly fire because you can't stop a laser after you shoot it. You know. No, that's Bill. No, stop it. I didn't mean to shoot you, Bill. Sorry.
What?
It's fine. Don't worry.
They also said, what's that? Go ahead.
So, yeah, no, it's friendly fire. They announced a whole bunch of stuff. Actors announced next year. They're working on a final script now. By the way, guys, plug Trendane. You want him to be a voice actor in Squadron 42.
We do.
Right.
It's fully voice acted. They said everything is going to be acted out. It's going to be like playing in a BioWare game.
They even said that there's going to be like possibly daily newscasts about what's going on, or weekly newscasts about what's going on in the galaxy. So we want him to do those too. We just want him to actually just be the entire voice of the game.
Yeah. And who was it? Was it Fat Guy 247?
Yeah.
Fat Guy 247.
Whoever that guy is, thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, I saw, because whenever you put someone's name in the Twitch chat, it highlights it in red.
Yeah.
And it was going by, and I was like, who said my name? Because I'm like, there's 20,000 people. Who the hell is saying my name? And I'm like, wait, scroll back. God, because it's going by so quickly. And I'm like, who is this guy? I mean, thank you, but who is this guy?
Just more of your love, Trendane.
I guess.
Can you
guys
do
want to know
Giving
in
you the
another
best
world?
of my
Can you do a Mr. LaFontaine?
I probably could, but I think Mr. Perfect was saying something.
Go ahead.
I was just
While
gonna
you say something
say-
perfect, go ahead, Trendane. Get ready. In another world.
I was just gonna say, if you guys want to listen to his Galactic Guide narrations, you can on the RSI website. You look under the forms.
You can
You
also
can
give
find
him
him.
money at bit.ly/Trendane.
It's right down there.
So we also talked about.
He also
Spend the
does
money on
personal
dinner.
voicemails.
So yeah,
They were also talking about body
Sorry.
language with the dialogue. So
And full
That's
body scans. Something I said.
Yeah.
Everyone said,
Sure,
Domo, you're
you did.
full of crap. And I said, no,
There
they're
he
going to
goes.
scan the whole body. They want boobies.
oops,
And
confirmed.
boobs are confirmed. Confirmed
I'm
boobs.
okay. I don't need my boobs on our side.
Man
That's fine.
boobs. Moobs.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
We're going to have moobs
but we
on
want
the
your
screen.
boobs, Core.
I know you do, and you're always invited. But
Thanks.
It's very
I-
kind of you.
Yes. So boobs confirmed. They're going to be doing full body scans, and that's important actually, because before it was just going to be a head on a pre-rendered sort of body, which looks okay, but
Right.
nothing nearly as good as the full body scans that they do over there at what was that company? I forget, but I made a whole video about it. It's NSFW because it's got boobies in it.
Yep.
Is it like
So-
expanded realities or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
infinite
Something
realities.
like that.
Infinite realities.
Infinite realities, yeah.
That's the one.
we had like a pod. What was the second podcast I believe you had? You had this whole little bit with the boobies.
Mhm. Because what they do is they take there's 72 35 millimeter 18 megapixel cameras set up around an area, and the person stands there, and it not only uses a laser to scan at the same time it's doing a photographic scan. It's doing like a topographical map of the entire body. You can see every pimple, every little
Labia.
blemish in the skin, labia, yeah, all that stuff really important. And so
Thank you.
No problem.
you're gonna make Trendane puke over there. Let's not go
Hang
there
in
yet.
there, Trendane.
Yeah.
Look, Trendane's going to be my cameraman when I document the Van Duel incident.
Oh yeah. I'm out, remember, I'm outside in the getaway car.
Mhm.
Yep. We'll keep your jump.
You can handle
for you.
videotaping. Cinematographer for the pornographic experience.
Dude, I'm so going to market that video and sell it everywhere.
That would be good. It'd be a definite YouTube video star right there.
And from the winnings or from the profits, I'm going to buy an 890 jump and pimp it out.
Full on space jacuzzi.
Mhm.
Hells yeah.
So,
All right. So let's see what else. They said that there's
So
going to be
15.
at least 6 ships confirmed for Squadron 42. Ship types:
Yep.
transport, fighter, capital ships. What were you going to say?
possibly
Perfect?
more.
Yeah, possibly more.
So in terms of the length of the experience, they said it'd be about a 15-hour experience. So it's a great way to learn the systems, but it's not a tutorial because there's 50 to 70 missions, including the branches and whatever, and that includes boarding and first-person missions, which is I think a pretty big revelation.
Videos that I make, and you guys make too, because you all have YouTube channels, they're always a snapshot in time. And at the time, I thought Squadron 42, this was when I made my very first Star Citizen videos, was more of a tutorial to teach you kind of how to play Star Citizen. and I'm wrong now, completely wrong. They basically said no.
Ready to go.
Well, they've been expanding it, they've been building it, they've been working on it, and originally they said it was going to be like 20 missions, and then there was a stretch goal to make it 30 missions, and another stretch goal to make it 45, and now we're on 50 to 70. So, again, I'm still, I don't think that you'll play through all 70 levels in one playthrough, because some are going to be branches of others, and that's one thing that they don't really talk about.
Nope.
All right, what else?
They're also really kind of quiet about what you're gonna get as a bonus for completing the story missions besides citizenship.
Right.
They don't really know what they're gonna do with that. They said some extra credits, but that was the only kind of.
People were asking if they could keep their fighters.
Look, the way that I see it, right, every property, like ships and stuff, goes back to the military. But if I spend, like, an entire campaign fighting for the military, I expect some fucking severance at the end of it, just...
You want to take your weapons home, your
Well, I don't really care about the weapons, I just care more about the money, so I can make some more money. Because money makes money, and makes money, and makes more money.
It'd be great if you get, like, injured, and then you get, like, a purple heart, and you just, like, spend the rest of the game lying down in a hospital bed.
and I get paid, like, 10k UAC per pound of flesh lost.
It's not bad. How much longer before Star Citizen? How much longer does Star Citizen come out? How much farther does Squadron 42 come out ahead of Star Citizen?
We don't know specifically. It'll probably be sometime before Persistent Universe.
So you're gonna most likely we'll all be playing that before we get into the actual Persistent Universe.
Yeah,
and I think once we actually hit the release date is when you'll get all of it. I think they're probably not going to release all of it at once.
That's a great kind of backstory, though, because it's like we're all sort of ex-military, at least the ones that are there for that part, and it's sort of like when you get out of the army, you sort of all have this camaraderie. You all went through this sort of hell together, and we can all say, back when I was in the military, I did this or whatever. And
some of us become like the bikers and say, no, fuck the establishment, and become bikers and pirate away. And others will, go, I was a veteran, man. I saw some shit, and now I'm going to be a space truck driver.
So the four
and then some people will be incredibly successful businessmen,
And then the rest just can't get away from the violence. Trueborn killers.
Every time I close my eyes...
Sorry, everybody. I'm setting something up. Go ahead, keep talking. Sorry, I just
it's a black screen.
It's a black screen. Nazareth just said there's a HUD video, and this guy recorded it with Bandicam. It looks so incredibly bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here. Just a second. Give me a second.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. So.
So they also mentioned that there's going to be binary. All right. So the dialogue system, binary choices interspersed. That sounds sexual. With eye contacts and eye contacts and bandit. Okay, I can't speak.
There's going to be body language in the dialogue.
Yes, there you go. Body language in the dialogue. So the stream kind of cut out for me at one point, and I thought Chris Roberts said that all I got was dick in the face, and it's going to have some time to recover from that. And I'm like, what did I miss?
Well, apparently you missed a dick in the face. But no, basically what they've been talking about in the past was specifically it's going to be about the relations that you build up with your NPCs while you're playing the story mission. That's why they're going to have these body language options along with your binary text options.
Yeah. And if you call someone a dick, then yeah.
They might not, they might not be as good of a wingman to you. They might, just let you die a little bit before they come and save you.
Slap you in the face with your dick, as I thought. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what it amounted to.
And then it was minus 1,000 romance.
Minus 1,000 affection.
or plus 1,000.
Or plus.
Or plus, depending on the crew member.
Right.
You're just like in the middle of a serious tactical investigation or tactical. You're just like, oh man, what are we gonna do? They're coming for us. And you just you drop your trousers and slap your wingman in the face with your dick.
Focus.
All right, I'm just getting this HUD thing set up, guys. Sorry about
whatever.
this.
We'll just keep talking about,
Dicks and faces.
There we go. Okay, so we'll come back to that in just a second. All right, good. We got that all
But
set
yeah,
up.
how you treat your wingman is how they'll treat you. So if you respect them and if you get respect back, then they're obviously going to be better soldiers or at a higher level of NPC. Whereas if you don't do that and you slap them in the face with your dick or you romance them and they become all attached to you, they might not be able to fulfill the mission properly because they'd rather be flying on your ass instead or something. So you got to balance that out. Exactly. You got to be the leader in that aspect and not so much the guy that everyone falls in love with. Shepard.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, Mass Effect's romance. Let's be honest. Mass Effect's romance system was stupid as hell.
Well, it didn't help that he constantly surrounded himself with what we term as cock lampreys. Grab a hold of you. They don't let go.
Just spam rip Paragon.
Yes, but that was one of the first games you could go any way you wanted.
It's true.
I still liked it better. The brothel in Dragon Age was still my favorite.
Oh yeah, but
you could do anything you wanted there. I'll take one of those.
I thought it was fucking hilarious when you could rent an elf to go have sex with a sheep, and then you just stand there and like the screen would fade to black and come back, and there would be a sheep in the room and a chicken and a pig, and the elf would be lying on the bed, and you're like, the fuck just happened here?
Right, and why couldn't I have seen the whole thing?
You're sitting there like, oh yes,
yeah, it was very nice.
Do it again.
Here's 50 more shekels. All right, so what I was playing with is the HUD. Okay, so they spent a lot of time talking about the HUD, and they're very proud of the HUD. And a HUD is a heads-up display for those who might not know what that means, what HUD means. And so we can go ahead and watch this video and talk about it. I'm going to keep the volume down, but I'll play it here. So this guy is John Likens. He's very nice hair.
And Shazberg, it doesn't make any noise because its mouth is occupied.
Mm-hmm. There's what's her name? Looking very nice.
The weird thing about this was this almost felt a bit like the Daily Show because the shot counter shot of this, it looks like they're in completely different places.
Yes, exactly.
You can see the very edge of the corner of his shoulder, and it just looks really weird.
It looks very staged.
Well, he's looking at the camera. That's the weirdest part. He's looking at the camera, and Sandy's looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just like, what?
Right about there.
It's like he's ignoring her.
Yeah.
I'm just like so focused on his hair. It's like
it's very nice.
It's like a perfect triangle.
It's like, where is the other fucking camera? Like, is it fucking on top of Sandy's head, and then she just takes off the helmet cam and then asks?
I like how she asked this question, and he gets up and leaves.
Yeah.
He's like, "Bitch, I'm done with you."
Yeah.
So the HUD itself, though, he said that he went with sort of the theme of the ship. So a Hornet is sort of an angular-looking ship, and so and there's a couple of round bits in there. So he sort of took those round elements, matched it with the angular portions, and sort of coming up with sort of the HUD that's going to be in this game is going to mimic what you see in Iron Man. That's why he showed Iron Man there, because he actually worked on that film's HUD.
That was right about the point that somebody in the chat said Jarvis confirmed, and I was like, oh, that would be awesome.
That would be so great. You're going to do the voice of Jarvis, right, Trendane?
Well, I can't do.
Come on.
My English accent is not that smooth.
Yeah, you gotta have that English accent down pat if you want to do Jarvis properly.
It's just,
it's very nice.
No, but it looks
say,
really fucking good.
Yeah, this HUD is, especially the 3D stereoscopic stuff that they've done with the with like all of the like the panels and everything. It's sick.
Yeah, we're going to see it actually move here in a second, but you're right, it is three-dimensional. This is what it looks like when
the
it boots.
layering part was really cool.
Yeah, this is the boot-up sequence. And he was saying, like, in Iron Man, all those little things that are moving around the screen, they really don't do anything. But in this game, you're going to have to actually see the temperature of your weapons, you're going to have to see how much ammunition you might have left.
And they talked specifically also about there are going to be parts of the HUD the HUD or the actual display that, even though they're there, are not actually legible. I mean, they're just there for fluff. And where they come in with that distinction is going to be interesting to see.
It's great. He says he used Cinema 4D for the actual rendering, but he draws it all in Adobe Illustrator. So if you're into graphic arts, it's cool to see people using sort of a standardized software.
Yeah, that reticle is excellent. It's pretty spectacular.
Mm-hmm. And why this is in 3D is because if you're wearing an Oculus Rift, there is a parallax that's going to go on. So you'll see the thing sort of popping out away from you a little bit.
Like that.
Yeah. I still can't see myself playing it with an Oculus Rift, but it would be pretty awesome.
It's getting less and less likely that I'm probably going to get an Oculus Rift. I think.
I don't have any like we've discussed in previous podcasts. I don't have any issues with the disembodiment and the throwing up. Mm-hmm. But what I do have an issue with is having that thing on my head for 8 hours straight when I'm fucking playing. It's just I hate wearing a fucking headset. So putting on a fucking Oculus Rift and staring through that is just gonna make me go blind.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be your new exercise right?
I'll probably take it off for like intense. I'll probably put it on for like really intense dogfights. But if I'm just like scooting through the galaxy, I'm not gonna wear an Oculus Rift.
This was where somebody in the chat said, "Oh, big teeth."
Yeah, I saw that too. I felt bad for the guy. I mean, he can't help himself.
I think he's cute. Anyway,
Oh, link to that video. I'm sorry, I recorded that locally. There's somebody who put it up in there a minute ago with it. It was recorded with Bandicam. If you want to see that, go for it. It's like 240p. It's really bad. So copyrighted things. The reason I didn't actually play the audio from that is because fair use, we can actually play it and talk over the top of it, and that's legal. But people that just steal stuff right from Twitch and put it up on their channel, no, stop that. It's naughty, and you're gonna get caught and get your channel taken down.
And that's why we didn't sing Happy Birthday to Chelsea.
No.
Nope.
All right, so what else, guys? I actually had to leave for a few minutes during that cast. Did you guys have some other notes because I didn't get?
Oh yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Nerd has them all.
Go ahead, Perfect.
We have not talked about PBR at all.
Oh yeah, let's talk about PBR. I didn't have any examples of it though. Shoot.
Stuff
I do. It's in
like
that video.
ass. It just tastes like ass.
I actually do have some images. So just take me a second. We'll talk about it as I fast forward here and get some PBR shots.
Why don't you tell me what it stands for?
Physically based rendering, right?
Actually, it's Pabst Blue Ribbon.
No, really.
They're gonna. That's the whole secret of Star Citizen. It's that every copy of the game ships with a 6-pack of Pabst, and you drink it, and it's just like everything is real now.
Do I not?
Your immersion is complete.
Full immersion.
I guess I don't. Well, I'll have to look for it some other time. I apologize. But basically, what it is this. I'll have this as an example. They set up an object in the game that's a texture, and the texture is assigned brushed aluminum. Okay? And all they have to do then is say that when they are building whatever particular object now, they say this little part is brushed aluminum, and it automatically pulls this texture in. And what's different about that than any other way that normally would have done it is I'm an artist and I think brushed aluminum looks like this, and somebody else is an artist and they think brushed aluminum looks like this. It's going to look completely different on my model than on his model, and each time a new model has to be loaded, it has to pull a different texture from a different file, and it causes the game to be more slow. It causes the game to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And it also means more work because I have to then myself make all of these new textures. I got to make a brushed metal texture or a brushed aluminum texture. I got to make every single texture in the game.
Right.
So,
for every single different map. So if a lighting source is in a different place in like a different kind of instance, so in this star system the sun is here. In this star system the sun's over here, and it's this color, and
it's greenish.
It's a binary star. You know, you're gonna have to essentially do different brushed aluminum models for every single one of those instances. Whereas in physically based rendering, you have a flat material, right? So you have leather, or you have aluminum, or you have whatever, and it dynamically reacts to the lighting. So you pull the texture once, you pull one texture for all the things. So not only will it actually make the game run faster, assuming you have a video card that can handle that lighting, but it'll also make the actual size of the game on your hard drive a heck of a lot smaller, since it's like it cuts the asset count down like way.
Right, it'll be more efficient in the long run. But the only problem is now, guys, they said that they have to go back and do everything over again that's already been done. So they just did. They showed an Avenger with it, and it looked beautiful. I wish. I'm sorry, I can't find the video, guys. I have it. I just have to dig it up inside that clip. So it looked beautiful. But now they're gonna have to go back and redo all the hangars over again. They're gonna have to do all of the Freelancer, all the different ships they've already got done have to be remodeled and reskinned. Not modeled, but reskinned from the beginning. I know it's a pain in the ass. It's going to slow it down, but in the long run, it'll actually make things quicker. Because then an artist, all he has to do is say aluminum, put it on, it's all set.
So you're saying that all someone has to do is say that this particular spaceship is made out of aluminium.
Aluminium, as they say overseas.
Yes.
Where they drive on the wrong side of the road.
They're all dyslexic.
Yeah, lexistic. Yeah, the Avenger did look awesome. If you guys who got to see it, it was just amazing.
Yep.
Okay, what else here, Mr. Perfect?
So in terms of that, so right now they used to use. So there was a question in chat. Don't games do this already? No, they actually don't do it right now. They used to fake their diffuse textures in the specular map. Now they can actually do it properly. That's a new word. They also talked about the modular tier system, where they have tiered assets. So smaller tiers are your individual small assets, like a bucket or a crate or something like that, and higher tiers are the assets for like buildings and stuff like that. So you can build out environments. Right, exactly. So you can build out environments really quickly with modular assets, and you can maintain that consistent art direction that they were talking about.
Just Tired just said here, how are you going to get into the seat in the Avenger? I thought the same exact thing. Even if it tipped back so you could slide into it, you're going to go into it head first and have to kick your feet around somehow. Or you're going to have to climb through that tunnel area feet first so that you can get into it that way.
Or perhaps what they are going to do is they are going to make it work like this in the what is that the cartoon that they did.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Voltron. They do it like a Voltron where the chair comes down, plugs in the back of a lion's head.
Very likely.
Yeah.
I always thought what would happen if you were accidentally like in there, like and you got crushed.
Your
That would be really morbid.
working on.
It suddenly just transforms on you, and you're like, "Oh crap!"
I have a new appreciation of giant robots after I saw Pacific Rim. That was actually a fairly good movie.
Pacific Rim. If you guys have not seen Pacific Rim, you can't anymore. But get it on Blu-ray if it comes out because it's amazing.
We just watched the Hunger Games this morning, so
very good. All right, Mr. Chris Roberts had to write two letters. So what's the letter?
Yeah, one of the letters up.
Thank you, Drager.
Somebody go read that for me real quick there. Thank you, Drager, for sharing that. He had to go write 2 letters because he hit 2 million goals in 1 week. What do you get when you start sending up sales for Idrises and Starfarers and crap?
Well, the information runner seems to be winning so far.
We didn't get it. We still don't know what it is.
Keep voting information.
We got smuggling.
We got smuggling instead?
Smuggling 1.
I think people are wanting to see a Firefly class ship.
The discreet. It's whole sea.
Freelancer penis that you have.
Well, Freelancer can't hide anything. The Firefly could.
Guys, vote for Information Runner. This is the chat. Anybody watching on YouTube, vote for Information Runner because we have no idea what the hell it is.
And I really want one because I have no idea what it is.
Core has been championing the Information Runner since they opened it up for us to be able to vote for in a ship. And I don't even know why he's doing this, but it's the most unlikely one of all. But it's now winning because it's like the 28th choice.
Basically, if we vote for Information Runner and some people vote for Bounty Hunting, we'll get both, but we'll get Information Runner first. So that's what I want to do. Let's make this happen, guys.
Let's do it.
Okay, I don't know what it is, but go for it.
That's the point.
Dude, it's a flying Johnny Mnemonic. What more could you ask for?
Maybe it's like a ship that's like shaped like a gigantic letter.
No,
it's like a safety envelope. That's
the hard drive.
I think what it is it looks just like it looks like the Nebuchadnezzar in Matrix. That's what it looks like.
It's like
or
what?
like a giant flash drive.
The Nebuchadnezzar in Matrix.
What I kind of assume, or what people have been theory crafting about it, is that it's actually like a hacking chip, or either for corporate espionage, or
Nebuchadnezzar in
something.
Matrix. It's got all these
Something
screens
like
you can jack into it and everything.
Yeah, something like that. But again, we don't know. That's why we really want to know. Well, I
very
really
excited
want to
about
know. Which makes you really want to know.
Vote information runner.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
2013.
everyone vote for information. What else?
We got the Aegis Surveyor, which is the salvage ship.
Mm-hmm.
Woohoo.
Got the salvage ship, very nice. It was mining, then salvage, then what's the next one?
Exploration.
Exploration, and then now is information runners.
No.
No,
Now the next one we're
smart
going to
one.
get is the MISC Hull C Discreet. It's called the Hull C, and it's a smuggler
Terrible
ship.
name.
Yeah, I don't understand the name. It basically just, when it says Hull C, I imagine it just being a small box marked with a C on the side.
No, this is
That's
like
what
a
it is.
really cheap ship.
It might be.
15 UEC.
Well, they have a range. It says they have a range of cargo hulls A through D, which are the standard goods transporters in human space. They're extremely configurable.
Isn't the Caterpillar
Right.
MISC ship?
No,
C,
that's
apparently,
right.
the
Oh,
C
it's
stands for criminal. The C stands for criminal.
Oh,
So
there you go.
continuing with the Star Citizen tradition of declaring that you're a criminal to the wide world. That's called
There is nothing I'm illegally smuggling in this smuggling ship. I'm actually carrying goods and services.
bunnies.
And
I'm
this
carrying-
card that says that I'm a member of this criminal syndicate really means nothing.
Nothing at all.
Honest.
I don't know why you're complaining.
Our clan logo being a skull just means that our leader died at some point.
Yeah.
That's all
And
it
we're
means.
honoring his skull.
It's really
Exactly.
very important.
You see, officer, actually, this particular card means that I'm a huge fan of Janet Jackson.
Hmm.
This smooth criminal was what this was about. I know it's a bit before your time, but smooth criminal, I'm not illicit activities at all. 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I know it was a different woman. I don't care.
You mean Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson. But is it
Yes,
still a woman?
Michael
I mean, you
Jackson
weren't
is a
far
different
off.
I was like, Janet Jackson. Like, is he referring to her?
No,
face
he was
looking
actually
like-
talking about Michael, but he was right. It was all right.
Right. He did he say Michael then?
No, he said Janet, but it's okay. It's same
No,
guy.
okay.
Same
Okay.
thing. It's just
It's fine.
Parallax wants to know who Trendane is.
I'm not sure. I don't.
Who's
I don't know.
Trendane?
He goes
I
to the
don't-
psychiatrist every day, and he asks that same question. Why do people keep asking me that too? On Twitter, I go, I follow somebody. They go, "Who are you, Geekdomo?" I say, "I ask my psychiatrist this all the time, and we still haven't come up with the correct answer." So asking me over and over again on Twitter isn't going to help.
Who am I?
Who am I? This
Good
is a big
song.
question.
What does it all mean?
One of my favorite songs from the Animatrix. It's "Who Am I" by Peace Orchestra.
A fantastic animated movie.
Yes.
By the
All
way.
right. So what
If you haven't
else?
seen the Animatrix, go see it.
What else there, Mr. Perfect Nerd?
Oh, right, that thing.
Oh yeah.
So is that all we're done with PBR, right?
Okay.
So let's
Years
talk
ago.
about the music.
Music bored the crap out of everybody. They went from 20,000 people watching the stream. Oh, I loved it, by the way. But
I
it
love
went
it.
from
Awesome.
20,000 to 12. 8,000 people said, fuck it. And they just got up and walked away. But I thought the music was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
it was really
same
good.
here.
I think it's fantastic. And as a composer myself, I was actually really interested to hear him talk about some of this stuff.
Yes, Stimpies, ask a question. You have to put it in brackets, and then we'll answer it for you. We're getting to the question
Yes.
answer thing real soon.
Ask questions.
So go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
So a couple things. He said that his inspiration in terms of like stuff outside of the game is like classy old school style sci-fi. So have you guys seen The Last Starfighter?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Good. So that it's pretty fantastic that he mentioned that because I really love that movie, and
It's an
actually
old movie.
I really love Super 8.
Really good movie.
That's a good movie. What does Super 8 have to do with Last Starfighter? I mean, there are two different
No, it's
genres.
about
I
the
think it's-
music.
Oh, the music
style.
in it. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. I think
With,
and the music for Super 8. I just went back and listened to it. It's actually really fantastic, and I didn't remember it at all.
I gotta watch The Last Starfighter again.
I saw it in the theater the day it came out, and I had just
What's that,
finished reading the
1982?
novel. I think so, yeah. And
Yeah,
I had
it's old.
just
I
finished
never
reading the
read-
novel the
never-
day before.
For,
never read
for
the
those who
novel.
might not know what we're talking about, it's basically a story about guys like us. This little kid, he plays video games,
He's
and
not
he's
that
so
little.
good at it that
That he gets abducted.
abducted to go be the last starfighter in
He gets chosen.
chosen.
He gets dude. He gets kidnapped by
totally
guys
gets kidnapped.
in a van. Okay,
Yeah, and taken really far away.
Just like us.
It's just the
And
story of
they
our
don't
life.
They don't explain how he suddenly ended up in space. So there is like a black window there where the guys in the candy van took him to the place.
It was
and we
more of a
don't-
CG.
What I think
memory,
happened-
really.
What I think happened was that there was a budget issue, and they couldn't actually afford the scene where he goes into space, so they just cut it out of the movie.
Yeah, you're just now in a land where we're going to be teaching how to fight starships and stuff. But
Then
it was really good.
Then he basically gets to fly his ship and kill a lot of things, which is really fun.
But now
That's
I have to
the-
watch it for the music because apparently it was amazing.
There
But
was-
I still thought it was fucking hilarious that they wanted a small child to win their war for them. It's just,
He wasn't that small. He was going to college.
They used that same thing in South Park with Kenny. He learns to play the 3DS or something like that, and or the PS Vita, something, and he defeats the armies of hell.
yeah.
didn't see that. But there's
All right.
also Robot Chicken.
Oh, right. That was way back, yeah. Okay.
Like, didn't he start as a kid and then came back and like
Huh.
went on the machine one more time?
Nope.
Okay.
It was his little brother you're thinking of.
Oh right, sorry. Yeah.
I've watched that movie recently, and I watched it many, 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 many times. You can ask me any question about it you want.
It's very vague to me. Is it on Netflix? Because I want to watch it.
No.
I don't think so.
I'll have to find a way to download
I
it.
would have seen it. I would have watched it again if it was on Netflix. But
I have the DVD, so I watch it a lot.
You're so old school, Trendane.
Yeah, I'm very old.
School.
yeah, I have a
School.
decent DVD collection myself, actually.
Is it on Amazon Prime?
It might be there.
It might be on Amazon Prime, but
That
you'll
would be
probably have to
awesome.
pay for it.
No, I have
And
Prime
re-
already.
And as you watch it, remember that at the time, that was the most kick-ass graphics
Oh
in
yeah,
the world.
yeah.
Oh,
Tron was around that time too, and Tron was like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was blowing our minds to see graphics that were three-dimensionally rendered that nobody actually drew by hand. You know, the intro scene to all of the old Tribeca, or not Tribeca, but the triangle thing with the Pegasus that leaps over.
Uh-huh.
That was all drawn by hand. The little wings that come out, and they look terrible. Like nowadays, they do it all CGI, and you'd be like, "Oh, this is a Pegasus flying out." But back then, it was all drawn. You could see every single frame is completely different. Like the person drew them differently each time.
And you could
it's
see
not
it with like a
Pegasus,
shitty
it's
filter over it if you were
Pegasus.
watching on VHS.
Yeah, like they kind of hid it behind a blur filter. All right, so moving on. Okay, so let's go on to the question and answers then. I guess we pretty much covered everything they talked about. So let's go to Q&A.
Oh, we did not. We did not cover.
I was
everything we
going to
talked
say,
about.
let's ask Perfect there.
Okay, go ahead. Perfect. We got a lot of questions,
Okay.
so people want to.
So, I'll just run through some of this stuff. So,
Okay.
dynamic music. They said the situation will change the music as battle shifts forward against you. You take damage, emotional cues, etc. That's cool.
I don't know
Pretty
about that
awesome.
because you're going to be in a battle and it's going to like all of a sudden the sad music plays. You're going to be like, "Thanks a lot, assholes. Now the sad music's playing. We're going to lose."
Start. 3-3-5-4 timings for alien race music possibly, which is going to be really funky and awesome. I love 5-4. I think it's really off-putting, and I love writing 5-4 music and then making people listen to it because it's literally like sometimes people have the reaction where they listen to it and they're like they suddenly like their mouth just opens for no reason and they sit there like.
See, Perfect, by the way, everybody, he's a musician. He's the one who did our intro. We'll play it while he talks. Is this 5-4?
Turn it up really loud.
Let's just blast up.
Just blast it. Just do it over.
The Vandal Queen.
All right, I'm back. All I heard was Vandal Queen.
Yeah.
So Perfect's a musician. He's the one who did that song for us. So he kind of knows what he's talking about with music. He's just as good as that composer guy that they hired. Raul? Yeah. He's just like Raul.
He was on the short list, but that other guy, they needed him just to fill a racial quota. Right. That's all.
Yeah, because I would not fill the racial quota.
Yeah. Well,
You're not Spanish.
Pedro, and that's like...
They already have plenty of you.
I'm so white. I'm like shading. I'm shading the camera, and so it turns brown. That's the problem.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Oh yeah, filter. And we got the official dramatic license. That's why there's sounds in space. Answer.
Yes. Made sense in a way. You know, basically they were saying that if your ship's getting fired upon, that the ship will render the whoosh noise that the laser is going by your head. So you can go, oh, there's somebody shooting on the left side of my head. And also, even if there wasn't sound in space and your ship was getting hit, there would definitely be a boom that you would hear because the boom would reverberate through the air that's in your cockpit. So you would hear the boom because it's going to hit your ship, it's going to go boom, and your ship's going to shake and vibrate. In that
the shields.
Or the shields, right. So that's all going to move the air inside your cabin. So yes, you would hear that.
I also liked the fact that they made the comparison to, your iPhone doesn't have a shutter, but it still makes the sound.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really, really good comparison.
And the electric cars nowadays have a noise, so people who are blind who are walking beside it won't walk out in front of you.
Blind people.
Or if you bought a Tesla and you want to hear your money's worth.
It does that too, so as it bursts into flames, you can hear the flames in real time, like the real flame sounds. It's not electric flame sounds, they're just real flames.
I want one that plays the screaming of children as I push the accelerator down.
It puts the lotion on the skin.
Drive through school zones.
Okay. All right, what else?
We gotta get to Q&A, so I'm gonna run through the dogfighting stuff.
Yeah, go quick.
We got Hornets, other single-seaters plus the Connie, and then in the beginning, and then other ships were gated by asset creation. Nothing all that surprising there. I think we knew that they were going to start with a few ships and then move on to something larger. Track RR is supported, but just not for the first iteration of the dogfighting module. It'll come out sometime next year. So Track RR confirmed. Awesome. For those who don't know what Track RR is, it's basically like this thing. You can put it on your hat, and basically it's like head tracking that you can mount near where your monitor is. It's pretty.
Moves the viewpoint where you look.
Yep.
So if you have 3 monitors and you don't want to use an Oculus, it's probably the best option. You just wear a baseball hat and it clips right on the front. It's a little light and it sits above your monitor and it tracks which way your head's looking.
Yep. It's pretty awesome.
Well, you get different models, so they don't have to necessarily go on the cap. They can go anywhere.
Yeah, that's true, but there is a couple of free ones out there that people will teach you how to build your own Track IR system with components that are like $1.50.
Yeah.
So if you really wanted to get into Track IR and you didn't want to pay all the money, you could do that.
I think you need a soldering iron and a few other things to actually make it, but it's actually not that hard. So yeah. Anyway, issues that they have right now in terms of dogfighting module are about the multiplayer backend decisions. Do they use a short-term like modified CryEngine native solution for testing? Or do they go whole hog and do the entire backend that will eventually connect with the persistent universe?
To be honest, I think they've already made their decision on that, and that's the reason why we don't have dogfighting this December. They've probably already made their decision, and they're going whole hog with their new proprietary software.
Good. I'm glad.
You don't need multiple monitors for the track to work, but the problem is if you only have a single monitor, you turn your head, then the monitor, it'll look weird.
You just see the edge of the monitor.
Yeah. It'll be strange.
But you could set it for sensitivity so that when you only twist your head a little bit like this, it already moves your camera angle all the way. So it's not like you have to look like this in order to see that way.
What's going on back there?
Yes.
And people are saying why not the Oculus Rift? Well, we just talked about that a little bit earlier. So first off, it can get certain people sick, and I know they're probably going to fix that by the time it comes out for release. But also, you're going to be wearing a 2-pound thing on your head for 16 hours a day.
It's very, very challenging.
You're going to come out of the thing with a neck like this big. Like,
I'll be honest. I had one on for 4 hours during a weekend. My head was sweating buckets, and it was just uncomfortable after 3 hours of use. And it's just like when you test it out when you test it out for the first time, you're like, you put it on and you're like, oh, this is awesome. And then 5 minutes later, you take it off and you walk away. Have that thing on your head for 3 hours. See what happens to your head.
Be like, dude, do you even Oculus?
I'm assuming the consumer version will be a lot more.
Yeah, more responsive too. They're trying to work out that lag issue.
And it'll be HD, which is better. So their goal is to deliver a core base. Then they'll have upgradable systems and things incoming. With patches. They dropped the unified first person is confirmed. So ships, FPS mode, whatever. That's one. Your HUD will change, but you will have one. You'll be in first person mode the entire time. And speaking of motion sickness, they said that there's going to be a movement reaction of the impact in a cockpit. And I'm thinking, if you have like an Oculus on,
it's going to be really disorienting.
It's going to be really disorienting. If the thing is moving and shaking, and you're like, I feel no impact. Your body's.
You're going to need one of those rumble chairs with like a 18-inch woofer is attached to the back of it. It's like,
yeah.
Something that can, liquefy your kidneys.
Yeah, that'll be good. They have this thing actually. It straps right onto a regular office chair. It goes around the neck, and it's like this big, huge, vibrating magnet thing that plugs into your sound card.
It's so ghetto.
It's a ghetto
for the ghetto. Anyway.
All right, so ready?
So
moving on.
How many more points do we have? Perfect, because it's getting up there.
That's pretty much it.
Excellent.
I did note that Sandy is getting. I think I heard this right.
Lip wax.
290Xs in quad crossfire. I think I heard that right.
It's weak sauce.
Yeah, totally weak sauce. We think
in 4K monitors, terrible. It's crap. Send it back.
Now here's my question. Crossfire has a lot of weird frame issues.
Stuttering.
So what I'm thinking is that with the stuttering, it's going to be like it's going to render every 5th frame or so, but it's going to be at 60 frames per second at least. So it's like 120 frames per second. So it's like 120 frames, but you only see every 5th frame on the screen.
I used to get this really weird micro stutter. Like literally, the screen was jittering all the time, and it was a pain in the balls. So I got rid of my Crossfire. Oculus 4K, that would be great. That's coming out next year. Confirmed.
Cool.
Confirmed. Oculus 4K.
Special Oculus 4K for Star Citizen. Oh, they did talk about a branded joystick.
Oh yeah.
X52.
And then the next year will be the Oculus 128 gig.
Wait, yes. The X52 or the X55?
It might be a 55. We don't know the actual number yet. But
I hope it's the 55.
I think it's a 55 because that's what they were talking about, and a lot of people were asking the question: who would exchange their 52s to get the Star Citizen's 55s?
I would. I love the 52. Don't get me wrong, but I think having the force sensitive one is a lot.
Yeah, but I'm gonna break it. I swear to God, I'll snap the fucking thing.
No, that's a different one. That's not the 65.
Oh, the 65 is. Oh, so 55 does move.
55 is like the 52, only an upgraded version.
Oh, I thought the 52 was the top.
52 Pro is wait, 55. I thought the 50R was the 65. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know about a 55.
I have no idea anymore.
Okay, never mind.
So here's what we'll do.
I don't think there's a 55.
You're both right.
Well,
Look, again, I'm just
Everybody
telling you
wins.
what they were talking about in chat roll. I have no fucking clue about any of these things except for the 65, which is what I'm getting.
just have them call it the Squadron 42, and it doesn't matter whether it's the 55.
Right,
or the
okay. Dantiero just said in chat, 55 is the new one that's not released yet.
Oh.
And thank you, Bartel Delight. I know if I play with my joystick too much, it'll break. And it makes you go blind, and that's why my glasses are so thick.
That's true.
It's
But
true-
at least
true
you know how to
story.
shave your hands.
Proven by science.
No hair. No hair.
So yeah, I think the only last point I have is that there are going to be 1,200 planets.
Yeah, 1,200 planets, 55 star systems right now, and they're going to add new ones like every couple days. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to fly around these planets, but there's going to be I think it's going to be a lot like X Rebirth. You're going to show up, and it's going to be like an area that you can sort of go to on that planet, but you're not going to actually be able to like zing around the whole thing. And
I think they're going to be probably 450 real planets. You know, like 450 like location planets, and then there'll be a bunch of planets with like gas giants and stuff, which are just refueling.
And a bunch of Marses.
Marses.
And a
So
bunch of
essentially,
Twixes.
Mars candy bars. Yeah,
And
Hell yeah.
almond joys. Gotta have almond joys. All right, let's move on.
weak.
All right.
All right.
Question answer. Let's do it.
Q&A time.
Trendane, would you like to read?
Where are they?
Yeah, where did you save them?
Right there in chat.
Whoa!
What?
That's amazing.
How did he do that?
He
Magic.
had so many.
Now you have to scroll up.
Yeah, I know,
Wow.
right? You gotta scroll all the way up now. All right, Trendane's gonna do his funny voices, and while he's getting ready, Trendane, the system that we're looking at is like a 8-core AMD processor, like a 290X video card, 16 gig of RAM. What? You don't... Specs are over Trendane's head. So, okay. We're going to give like a 650 watt power supply, brand new case.
It'll be good.
It'll be nice.
Great.
Sounds nice.
It'll be able to run Spore.
It'll run Spore at
Yeah.
1,000 frames per second. Spore.
Where's my knife?
He's gonna kill you now, Core, for the
Don't put
Spore.
Is that peanut butter?
Can
Well,
I just do a tiny shout out?
All right,
Yes.
shout out.
Stoff is an idiot.
That's a great shout out. Thank you, Stoff, for being an idiot.
Stoff.
Thank you.
You just got called out.
What?
Burn.
All right,
So are we ready?
we're ready. Go
We're
ahead,
ready.
Mr. Trendane. Let's
Okay.
fire through these because actually we only got like. Yeah,
Stewie's
whatever.
voice has been requested.
Oh, Stewie's voice.
But Brian's dead.
Brian died when?
Like this past week.
Oh my god. He's got to be. He'll come back.
Spoilers.
Yeah, big time spoilers. I haven't seen that episode yet, but that's okay. He'll come back. I guarantee it. He might be
Major
dead.
spoil cast going on over here.
How does Starfire end?
Oh, how did Starfighter end?
Yeah.
He gets the girl and they live happily ever after.
There you go. It's a
And the
typical
butler
80s
did it.
movie. Yep.
Is there fire in the new Hunger Games?
Well, it's the title is Catching Fire.
Is catching fire.
Because her hair catches on fire when she jumps through that propane flame.
Okay,
All right,
good.
go ahead, Trendane.
Right.
Stewie.
Stewie, huh? All right, let's see.
Sweet.
Here. I have to cue myself up because
You gotta say, Stewie, you gotta go with Cool Whip. Cool Whip.
well,
Wait.
which is I don't watch Family Guy, so I've only seen like a few bits and pieces, like the scene where they're in the desert and they cut open the camel. So anytime I have to get into, Stewie's mode, I have to think of that scene and it's like Orson Welles' autopsy. So that's
Excellent. That's perfect.
That's the only way I can get
That was
into it.
perfect.
And also go, ah!
Oh God. Okay.
Imagine your head shaped like a football.
Yeah, just
Go.
like invoke the power.
You're giving him the cues.
See, it's this first question. It says, "Do you believe them DF will really?" And that just makes me want to do it in a Texas accent. Do you believe them
do it in a
DF will really be?
You can do the next one. Do the next one in Stewie.
Okay, fine.
Want you to
Do you
be happy.
believe them DF will really be this year? What the fuck does that stand for? DF. Meaning the
Dog
next
food.
25 days, since they won't work after. We have. I really should have pre-read this. This is why I don't want to stream on Twitch when I'm doing my voiceover recordings, because this is what it would be like. And they're just.
It's just burst with swearing.
Well, yeah, lots of it. Because you'll hear a lot of that while I'm recording. Fuck
Jake
me.
turned to Alan. Fuck no.
Klaus and Werner. Fuck me.
You'd want that, wouldn't you?
No, and I guess you'll have to age gate this video too. Okay, so do you believe them DF will really be this year, meaning the next 25 days, since they won't work after? We have seen nothing yet, and from being a programmer myself, this is usually bad news.
Well, we've already answered this question.
Well,
It'll
dang
probably
it.
be after January.
Yep. But at the same time, they start doing EverQuest next. So I'll have 2 games to play. Be excellent.
Yes. Save it for next year, guys.
Next year. Okay, next question.
Sean Scout or Gladiator? Which one do you think would be better? $150 ship?
Depends if you want a
Uh,
fast ship or a slow ship.
The alien
at the end of
tech or the?
well,
Go with good American engineering.
the question is, do you want a dogfighter? Go for the Giant Scout. You want a bomber that takes out ships bigger than it? Go for a Gladiator. Other than that, no fucking clue.
Yeah, it's all your own.
I got a
personal
gladiator.
style.
I got a gladiator, so I love the gladiator. I told you guys I was gonna buy a gladiator, and then I got a gladiator.
Oh god, he's talking about the Gladiator again.
Good man.
See what you did, folks. All right,
Way to go.
go ahead next.
I love you.
If you wish to only collect a resource, mining, or salvage, and not sell it right yet, how and where could you do this?
You know what that reminded me of? That voice reminded me of the tutorial from Age of Empires 2 with the Scottish dude. Okay, I'm sorry. That was
Yeah, you're reaching for that one. Okay, anyway,
William
Trendane-
fucking Wallace.
Trendane actually did the voice for that, by the way.
You're talking about William Wallace.
It wasn't William Wallace because he talks about William Wallace.
Oh,
He's this other random Scottish dude who's like, William Wallace is like this great giant from the north.
All right, I think we've answered that question.
The question is, we have no idea. I mean, the
Didn't
game's,
address it at all.
the game's not out yet. We don't have anywhere where we know we could sell anything. So, unfortunately, sorry, we can't answer that one. What are your? Sorry, Trendane. I started stealing your thing.
I think that if I had to theory craft, you might be able to stuff something in your personal hangar, vault, something like that, and save it.
It's where you keep all the dead babies you've collected.
All right, yeah.
You would have a lot of radiation, but
Are babies radioactive?
Yes.
yeah, they are.
Absolutely.
That explains the color of their shit sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And the smell.
Oh.
Vile. It's vile.
So, what are your thoughts on Chris Roberts' response about freelancer visibility questions there?
He basically said, "Suck it," because we're going to keep the big, thick pillars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was just like,
Okay.
Okay.
Easy response to that. Oh God! What the hell? As the video finally catches up, and now we're doing a exorcist in the cargo hold of the freelancer. Okay.
Yosemite Sam for the next one.
Yeah.
Yosemite Sam. Oh God.
The rootin' is tootin' is shootin' is.
I don't think so. No, that's just no. We'll go with Count Nefarious.
Okay.
He's Tim Curry's character in an old game called Toonstruck from the mid-90s. Awesome game. Because, of course, it's Tim Curry. I knew I could be such a terrible prick. I just can't picture Tim Curry saying, "Are you guys?" But anyway, it would go about like this. Are you guys excited about the new Avenger interior design?
Yes.
Yes.
It looked gorgeous, and I'm sorry I can't show you any footage of it.
although the like we were talking about earlier, the placement of the chair.
Your mic's off.
The
You're
cockpit.
perfect.
My mic is off.
Yeah, wait,
Or it's just really quiet.
way down. Do you have a mixer? Turn your mixer up a little bit.
Turn
How's
it
that?
up. Turn it up.
Better.
Little. Sing a song for us real quick.
Hello, hello, hello.
That's better.
Better. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I think the cockpit's a little small though.
In the Avenger, yes, it is.
Are we going to start about cockpits again?
It's such a great word.
Oh man.
Yeah, we'll age gate this one. It'll have flickering lights and LSD use. So, okay, next.
Yes, it's a very nice size.
How long?
So
sorry.
pleasant.
I keep wanting to read them. I gotta stop.
Yeah, we'll stop it. How long until the LTI stops?
Thank you,
6
Batman.
hours. 6 hours. Yeah.
Yes, same.
6 hours or so.
6 hours, guys. Hurry up.
So if you're
Get
gonna
shit
get
together.
it, you better do it soon.
Actually, I'm not sure if it's 6 hours. It might be a little bit longer than that. But basically, if you have not already chosen your ships, get on the ball and pick something.
Buy a constellation and give it to me. And then go buy an Aurora or something.
Which Chris Roberts said was his favorite ship.
The constellation?
Yeah, that's what he said. It was right after Domo stopped recording. Somebody asked what his favorite ship was, and he said, the Constellation. Did they expand anything regarding... I think you meant explain. Did they expand anything regarding Texas or fleet cache / fleet hangars, etc.? What the hell kind of question is it?
Unfortunately, no,
Texas.
they did not. Unfortunately, no, they did not. They did not elaborate on it, which kind of bummed me out because in the last live stream that they did, they went very deeply into the subject, and then they were going to promise us that we're going to see something before the end of the year, and again, no comment in the next live stream. It's just why
You got to figure though that they're going to have some severe taxing, and it's a good money sink, to kind of keep the economy in check.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also asking about
Taxes.
fleet cache and fleet hangars. So, if you have Imperium owns a planet.
we can only put our faith in it that there's someone there that knows how to handle finances even a little bit and knows how to play games. I mean, if you got someone like that, they could probably come up with a system, but we don't have any information as of yet pertaining to that particular subject.
I think I would pay for I would pay in-game currency for to hire an NPC accountant to handle the fleet money.
Dude, you know what?
Unless
let's do it like this. I'll be your accountant. Just hand me control over all your accounts, and I'll make sure everything works out fine for me.
yeah, about that. No.
All right, next. Moving on.
This one goes out to Core's wife. So you buy an Idris with the family's emergency credit card. You got about 30 days till the wife sees the bill. What would you do with the last 30 days of your life?
Here's what you do. You go deeper in debt. You get yourself two $69.90 video cards. You start Litecoin mining them. You can make all that money back and pay for the Idris before your wife finds out.
Well, the thing is, right, if this is already the end of your life, dude, spend everything that you can on that card.
Right, you can't take it with you.
Max it out, right? And then start selling shit that belongs to her, just so that you get more money, so that you can get even deeper into trouble.
This is from a guy who just got married.
Yes, and then when you get to the point where I want a divorce, then you're like, haha, you don't have any stuff left, and then you're fine,
But she's gonna want half the Idris.
No, she can't. It's digital property.
She could own half of your fleet because you got 37 ships.
No, she can't. That's not how it works. Because technically, it's a donation. Because I get a reward doesn't mean anything. I didn't buy a ship.
Did this go into your prenup?
It did, yes.
Yeah,
You
okay.
can't have my ships.
She got a piano. I got chips. It was fine.
Oh, good.
Or you could just placate her. Like we saw Core doing beforehand before the stream started.
I promise.
Just
No more
begging his
ships,
wife
no
for
more
forgiveness.
I'm
And
sorry.
he didn't think we noticed. And he's like, but the sound was off. How could you guys know? We're like, we know. Motherfucker, we saw you.
This cigarette will be my last. I promise.
As he lights up another one. All right, next. Keep the ball rolling here. Let's keep going.
What kind of sci-fi beginner here? But what makes Star Citizen so unique to others out there?
Wait, my question is, there's others out there currently?
We have Eve out,
Fuck Eve.
which is impossible to fly.
Yeah,
Look,
you can't fly the ship at all. In
Play Eve. You're not playing spaceships. You're playing online calculator.
You're
That's
playing
all it is.
online Excel spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets in space. There you go. It's nothing like Eve.
Well, what sets it apart is that it's basically taking several different AAA games and putting them all into one. Like you've got Squadron 42, You got Star Citizen that are each the persistent universe. Plus, you're going to be able to play pretty much any game style you want. You can be a space trucker. You can be an explorer. You can be a pirate. You can be a mercenary or a military guy. Whatever.
And also pretty graphics. So.
And very pretty graphics. Chris Roberts has said that the console will never keep up with the PC, and because of that, we will crush them underneath the heels of our boots. The peasants will lick our toes with their nasty tongues.
The way to look at Star Citizen, right? If you look at different games that will be coming out in sort of the same time frame, which is kind of like Elite Dangerous, the thing to remember with games like that is Star Citizen is going to feature a very immersive setting. It's going to be very immersive. You're going to have all this support for all this, what technically could still be called next-gen equipment, and I don't know. If you're going for a real space sim, Star Citizen's your game. If you're going for the action-packed sort of sim experience, Elite Dangerous is your game. You know, it comes down to what you really want from it.
It's going to be way better than the X game.
Oh yeah, fuck. Look, after X Rebirth, just don't talk to me about X Rebirth until they patch that shit, which is like
I stopped playing it. Yeah, I completely stopped playing it because it sucks.
It's unplayable. It's like an unplayable.
I'm stuck in a wall somewhere.
But yeah, so I mean, with Star Citizen, exactly. I mean, most of the content is going to be PvE in a lot of ways. I mean, interacting with the environment, mining, all that stuff, and then also doing missions for NPCs and just interacting with the space economy. That's going to be
friends.
Right, and playing with your friends is going to be a huge part of it. But PvP in general is, in terms of open world PvP, is going to be limited to the lawless space and in like arena instances.
No. So, you can fight in lawless space, but someone's going to interfere.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's not like lawless space is where it's a very much a PvP kind of sandbox where the economy changes and the way you deal with everything sort of flips on its head, like insurance and fees. They turn into like extortion, and protection and all that kind of stuff. And if you want to carve out a place in the universe, you got to go there. So
just coming back to the previous thing that I said. When it comes to lawful space, where the UEE governs it or the Banu govern it or whomever, that still means you can kill your target and probably take all the shit and fly away, but it will raise your reputation rating. So it is possible to do all that in UEE space, depending on their response time. If it takes you 20 minutes to kill someone, you're probably going to get swarmed by a fucking Bengal.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So unless you're hunting bounty.
Right,
but you're never safe. That's very important to note. You're never safe.
You are never safe.
Go ahead, Mr. Trendane. More liquid. He's smoking a bowl. Legalize it.
If you guys could see what I'm seeing, it looks like he's trying to...
Oh yeah.
Can you guys just like send NPCs as like a boarding party to another vessel?
We don't know.
Some junk.
We don't know.
Don't know yet. Sorry.
Oh.
We do know that you can have NPC wingmen, but that's about the extent of what we know.
Probably not. I'm gonna bet.
Well, it would make sense that you could, but then it would have to be specific NPCs that are set to, like, Marines or something. Again, we don't know. There's going to be a mechanic for it, probably.
Now, who works for Weta? In the chat. They said, I work for Weta.
Weta?
Yeah, that's a special effects company that worked on Hobbit.
Come on.
And Lord of the Rings.
And Lord of the Rings, yeah. Oh,
Stimpy's.
Stimpy's.
I'm jealous.
I saw your wonderful statue at BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm. Ben?
It was very pretty.
Oh.
There was a statue of Stimpy at BlizzCon?
It was.
He may have licked it.
Don't think about that too hard.
Ren and Stimpy's.
No, the like that classic Orc and Wolf one is made by Weta. So.
Oh. Very nice, Stimpies. I'm very.
There you go.
You should, if you're a
Good job,
3D
Bob.
if you're a 3D guy, you should get into the whole next great starship competition.
Help us come up with some cool graphics.
Hey, go ahead there, Mr. Trendane. Next one, we'll skip over the.
Do you guys think that the single-player aspect will hinder the depth of the persistent multiplayer MMO, which is a little bit redundant, multiplayer MMO, really? And how comparable it will be to the current MMO standards?
I don't. There is no single-player aspect to the persistent universe. Squadron 42 is single-player, but the persistent universe, Star Citizen, is not, right?
No. Okay, so there's two ways you could take this question. The first is that the single player aspect refers to Squadron 42, in which case it won't hinder the depth at all since you do it beforehand. And the second way you could take the question is that it's referring to private servers, which is a possibility, and that will not at all, definitely won't hinder the depth of the persistent universe, because the persistent universe always takes priority in terms of development and patching and stuff like that. So, basically, the way they're probably going to have to do it is that private servers don't get new content until the persistent universe has had its time with it, and has had a chance to discover it and do whatever they want with it, and then they roll it out to private servers. That way you don't have private servers discovering things before the persistent universe.
Yep. The private servers will always get that stuff secondary.
And there's no way to compare it to current MMO standards because it's nothing like any MMO that's ever been created.
Description ever.
Yes, correct.
All right, go ahead there. Next one's a big one.
Oh, the question.
Yes, next question.
Which
Perhaps.
Yeah, I know which question. I'm trying to figure out which voice.
Oh, well, do like a Valley Girl voice, because it sounds like a Valley Girl.
Okay.
What Valley Girl says perhaps?
It's
There was one time we were shopping for kettle with my sister, and she could only afford one word on the telegram, so she said comfortable. She said don't worry about it because she'll read it slowly. Comfortable. Yeah. Okay. It's much funnier when you actually tell the whole joke. Anyway, so perhaps this is something to discuss. Sandy with an I. Oh my god, that's so cute, and I just love her pumps. Oh Jesus. Said that they won't do CitizenCon in Berlin due to cost and availability. Whatever. Oh, that's however. Sorry. How come they didn't choose London or another European city? Because I mean, that's just Europe. Okay. Instead of simply jumping back to I guess it's North America, or is it something else I don't know about? Like it's like some kind of weird New Zealand parallel. I don't know.
It's not anal.
Oh, ew. It's like doing colonics. Oh. London came in second on the poll with 20%. Oh, is that one of those little Spanish N squiggly things? I know.
I don't think CIG has made a decision on that yet.
Oh my god.
All right, so did you? Okay. So what he's talking about, what the question was asking, is basically they said they try to get Berlin, but it's booked until 2015. Like the dates in October,
city.
The whole city is booked. It's being occupied by the Russians. They have this whole deal worked out. They're going to kind of split the city in half. They're going to build this little wall. It's all kind of hush-hush right now. But Berlin is going to be occupied for October of 2014 and 2015.
The fuck it won't.
You're looking at the wrong place in the book.
What's that?
The fuck it won't. CIG
is
just
just a few pages.
What are we looking at, Trendane?
You're at the wrong page in the history book. You need
is
to
that a
flip
piece of
forward.
wall?
That is a piece of the wall.
Wow.
What?
That's deep.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So Trendane's been to the wall.
No, I haven't. But it actually is a piece that broke off of a larger piece that my housemate owns.
Oh.
So he owns a piece. Like
All in
about
all,
that.
we're just another brick in that wall.
Another prick with no balls.
So
we currently don't know anything about CIG's plans to whether or not they're going to host CitizenCon in Europe, but they have commented that Berlin is too expensive.
but they did not say they were doing anything in the United States. They were basically saying we're going to PAX and we're going to go set up a booth at PAX. It's not like they're not doing a con specifically for citizens in the U.S.
Just make the game. I don't care about.
That's what I said in the chat. I was like, game is
Just
greater
make the
than
game,
symbol
please.
than con. Okay, because while the con is great and everything, I don't want them spending $1 million for a stupid convention that's going to be over in a couple of days when the game isn't even out yet.
We'll come to PAX East. We'll hang out with you guys at like
Yeah.
Gamescom and stuff. But you don't have to really like Berlin. That's too much money. Like when they say
wanted
expensive,
$100,000, yeah.
like, it should be in caps, bold, italics.
All they need to do is send Chelsea, Sandy, and Chris. We don't need any of the other people there. Just it's fine.
I am going to go to PAX East anyway, and I'll try to get interviews with them if they're there. I'm going to like have special pictures with me and Ben. I'm going to say like, hey Ben, let's get naked. Take some
Anyway,
pictures.
let's move on.
Oh, Coco Bello wants to know how much millions of dollars we've all spent so far in Star Citizen. So we've done this before. So
4 million.
Core is first. Go ahead, Core.
4 million.
Core has almost
No.
every ship in the game.
No, it's a number. It's fairly high. It's fine.
His new wife, is sitting right next to him, and she can't know that number.
Well, no, actually, it's only half of her new piano because she got a Clarinova 609,
Ooh.
which she's really happy with. And I figured Perfekt Nerd would know what I was talking about. So yeah, she got that.
Like I can't even fit that in my apartment.
So
Is it a
she
grand?
got that, and she is a composer herself as well. So we might have to have a communication.
Oh,
you
that'd
and
be
me,
great.
Perfect.
You and Perfect. That could, yeah, that'd be great.
Because she is looking to get into that world. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yes, it's about half of her new piano, and people who know the price of a Clarinova, or that can now Google it, will know how much money that is.
Clarinova 900.
Clarinova 609. It's a Yamaha machine.
I think I've spent $240 ish,
I'm at 250-ish.
including my new 350R. So
I'm in the several hundreds now. I think I'm at 600 and was it 635 something like that. 600 something. Yeah, I spent 250 initially, and then spent another 75, and then 150 on the Retaliator. So maybe not that much. Maybe it was like 5. I haven't counted. I don't know. It's like 500 something.
And Mr. Trendane, he is dead last. But we are going to be we're raising money for Mr. Trendane. Right down there below. We've already got the money for his new computer. But if you'd like to help get Trendane and Aurora, donate to that little link down below so we can get him a ship.
Somebody in the chat, Clifford Livestream Gaming has spent $4,545.
that is a real man right there.
You're a rear admiral right there, right?
You are nuts, sir. You are absolutely.
Well, he did say that he bought a P tonight, same as me, so,
Yep.
there you go.
Hi, Admiral. Congratulations. Now, I looked at the Clarinova on eBay and I came up with $5,000.
It's actually 7.5 when you buy it new.
So I know exactly where Quarter's money is now.
But the funny thing is, I got a 10% discount plus an extra 250 on it, which meant that it was exactly the price of an interest, and I saw that as a sign. And then when we
Amen. Jesus spoke to you, baby Jesus.
and then when we got married, the gifts of monies that we received totaled to around 1,300, which kind of meant that that was another
Jesus
sign.
also once again said, "You must buy an Idris."
Another Idris. Come to me, Core.
It's kind of interesting how all those sums of money start to look like fictional spaceships all of a sudden.
Every time you got another like $100, it's like, ooh, I could buy a freelancer with that. Ooh, look, I can get another. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then Jesus was like, "You need to pilot this ship for me because the only thing I can use my hand for is a whistle." No? Okay. Well,
Praise
we'll move on.
Jesus. Moving on. What's the next question here?
How the hell does Jesus eat M&Ms? You know, they keep falling through the hole.
I think he uses a cork.
Yeah, that's true.
He uses a fork.
Or maybe,
Cork.
he could use like a fix-a-flat.
Fix a flat.
Yeah.
So you got a rubber grommet. Right, go ahead.
That is.
Go ahead, Trendane. Next one.
Rubber grommet. Okay.
I just like the word grommet. It's such a cool word.
Grommet.
He's also a really cute character. I've had a crush on Grommet for a long time.
He's very cute. Little dog.
So I guess I'll just go with that voice. Since the new ship has drones, do you think we'll be able to see combat drones like in EVE Online?
Taters.
Mm-hmm.
Taters. I think so. I think we'll have combat drones to some extent. Maybe not exactly like EVE Online, but...
Actually, I think combat drones might be out. Maybe defensive drones or repair drones. Those would make sense as automated systems, but combat drones specifically, I don't know. I don't see it because it's supposed to be a Twitch-based, skill-based game, right? Now, if you have a ship that's specifically outfitted just to fly out 100 drones, and you're just going, I don't need to shoot anything.
But what if you're old and slow like myself? I need 1,000 little trips flying around shooting BBs at this other ship because I can't move quick enough.
Maybe you can have like one combat drone. Like you can pay. It's going to cost a lot of money, and you're going to have a lot. You're going to have to modify your ship space and cut out a lot of cargo space just to be able to hold this thing.
The thing about combat drones in EVE was that the ship that you actually had was super armored, super shielded, but you had no offensive capabilities other than your drones. That's the way that it was set up.
Maybe like a Starfarer.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. But if you have a Starfarer with 75 tons of space, you could probably fit 75 fucking combat drones in there.
Be like, you don't want to mess with me, pal.
So
unless you have to have like like in FTL where they have like a control center for drones that you had to install, and that would take up space as well. So it's like a trade-off, and that takes power.
Says, what's the difference between an NPC man turret and a combat drone?
I kind of figured that question was coming as well because, again, it's a fucking NPC turret. An NPC turret is still attached to your ship. You're still flying the ship. You're still, in some way, in control of the ship that you're currently on. And the NPCs on you, or even your wingman, because it is possible to have your NPC wingman, act as ships. The difference is that when you lose a combat drone, it's probably not that expensive because, hell, it's a combat drone. You replace those things by the dozen in EVE. But if you lose a ship, like a 300i or, a fucking Aurora or maybe even a Hornet because it's manned by an NPC and it's not doing as well, you're probably losing a lot more money on that.
All right, speed round. We got 6 minutes and 10 questions.
Okay, here's a really quick one. Did you get another Idris? Okay, next question.
Yes, he did.
What do Americans think about having a multi-country organization, factions from Australia, New Zealand, for example? Seems there are organizations out there that want 24/7 coverage.
We at Imperium have 24/7 coverage. Okay, let's move on.
There's also, I'll just put another plug in for another really great guild. It's called the Older Gamers. They are made up. Yeah, they are. You have to be over 25 years old to join them. They're a great guild. They're the largest guild in the world. They have over 55,000 members, and they play pretty much every game made. So if you want to join the Star Citizen faction with them, they also are in Australia, and they cover mostly Australia and North America.
Poorly. They play mostly every game ever made. Poorly.
They all have combat drones. Okay, next.
I have 6 friends I play with. Slut.
Yeah.
We all have a lot of ships, but not the time to put 24/7 in the game. Will me and my friends, and I, still be able to carve out our little home in the universe /planet/station?
Absolutely.
I'll be honest, if you have 6 players, you might be able to buy like a cantina or buy like a little place on a space station, but I don't think you'll be able to take a real space station all for yourself with just 6 people, unless you're all flying destroyers. But again,
unless you're just like,
even if you're all flying destroyers, I don't think you can hold it. Like you could probably take it.
You can take it.
or you just like fly halfway across the galaxy and find like the shittest little desert planet, and then
It's yours.
It's just
Tatooine.
like
And then you're
6
good.
people might not be enough to take something large, but you know, when you say you carve out your little home, that could just mean a trailer park on Terra. You know, we
a
don't know
very
what-
small home.
We don't know how big you're thinking.
All right, 4 minutes. Go.
Let's talk about Trendane's new computer. Give us specs,
We
not
did
phrased
that.
in the form of a question. Thank you and good day. When should we upgrade our PC? I say 13 months from now.
13 months from now is an absolutely perfect time to do it.
Yep.
Question: black holes? Yes, I'm in favor of them. Thank you.
Yeah. Speaking of Vandal Queen, go ahead.
You know, Core's in favor of black holes.
Booyah!
Yeah. Do you see the game being delayed a lot? Yeah, we do. Chris said they only expected 6 million max. I think that expectations are risen and the original plan might be blown out of the water. Personally, I prefer to spend another 6 to 12 months to make a better game.
They are.
Rest of us.
That's why we said 13 months away, because it's going to be at least that long before the game's close to being done. But they're going to give us a dogfighting module in the meantime.
What they're going to do is they're going to give us a staggered beta/alpha release, and hopefully with the start of the dogfighting module, that'll also conclude the alpha once we have the dogfighting module, and then we'll slowly move into beta as 42 comes out, Squadron 42 comes out, and after that, of course, Persistent Universe.
All right.
There will be U.S. Servers and Europe. I have friends in the U.S. and I am from Europe. Can I play on a U.S. without losing stuff or starting over to play with my friends, or will I have to play on only the one server forever?
Don't know yet.
We don't know.
We don't know, but I would think not.
I think
In
So
that there
I
will
think what
be
they're planning. I think
cross-culture
what they're
or
planning is.
cross-server.
I think what they're planning is not a server select option at the start, but you just log in and you're in the Persistent Universe. But when
Right.
you're on there, the Persistent Universe is going to be shard based, as in you're going to have a shard that's for the EU, and you're going to have a shard that's for NA, and a shard that's for Asia. And what that kind of means is that you won't really meet the other people unless you're directly partied with the people from the other places. But again,
Right.
you know, that's kind of
That's
how
how
they're
it's
going to
gonna-
distribute load.
It's gonna have to work that way. So I mean, it's your the only way you're gonna have people from the United States in your persistent universe, you know, that you run into, is if you're like directly partied with them and you demand that the server puts them in your instance. Otherwise, they won't be.
Yeah.
All right. Whoever just said check your messages, when I went and checked my message, it erased the chat, so I don't know who it was that just asked me to do that.
That's Dalen75.
Were you asking about Into the Portal? That's on Friday. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
All right, next question.
Last question. Any news regarding instancing? It seems like this system has zero information about it yet. What happens if I want to attack a Bengal? 5 instances of battle. Which one will the Bengal be in, etc.? Any limitations currently released?
Well, you can kind of think of it as a tiered rank system, as in if the battle's going to have a Bengal on both sides and the battle's going to have like 5 corvettes on each side and then like 10 constellations and then some Hornets, they're going to split it up if they have to, right? They're going to split it up if they have to evenly divide all the power. Like the 2 Bengals will be facing off against each other, and you know they'll have a complement of fighters and corvettes and that sort of stuff. And then another instance might just have some corvettes and some fighters in it, depending on the way that they're going to do it. It's not going to be completely random. They are going to try and balance it. But of course, if you show up with 1,000 fucking ships and your enemy has 5, there's no real question who's going to win.
The
Them.
5.
The 5.
Yes, of course.
Because it's just like 300. They're going to
It's
stand there
gonna be
clashing
us
their
5.
shields.
There are no fucking hot gates in space, okay?
In that case,
I'd like
it's
to
just
know
like Game of
Shall
Thrones.
pass. What's that, Perfect Nerd? What?
I just like to stress that going back to that post that Ben Lesnick made a while ago, we were talking about it a couple weeks back. This game is 80% PVE. That's just the way it works. It's most of the game is interacting with the environment and the economy
Space truckers.
and with it's NPC ships, right? The big space epic fleet battles are like maybe once in a blue moon. Like that's not going to be like the everyday occurrence unless you're actively your faction of whatever ships is actively at war with another faction, right? That's outside of that extenuating circumstance, you're not going to run into these gigantic battles every day, which is why we don't have tons of information about them.
Yeah, I also had an interesting conversation earlier with someone who was like, you cannot hold your own region of space. Well, I'll tell you what. If 1,000 people from Imperium decide to hole up in one region of space and decide to kill anything that tries to fly through it, I don't really think there is such a thing as not owning the space, because you're still occupying it and tearing up shit. So, regardless of how that's going to work or what the mechanics are behind that, you know, players are the kind of people who break the system in those respects, and it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to progress.
All right, we're out of time. Yes. Okay, so perfectly on time. Real quick before we end, remember everybody, if you'd like to donate to Trendane's Fund, the link's down there below. Perfekt Nerd, tell us about your channel.
You can find me on Twitter at Perfekt Nerd. It's one word. You can find me on YouTube at Perfekt SC. And I haven't put anything on there just yet for the most part, and I probably won't for a little while because I'm super busy right now. But
you can always upload this video to it.
Right, but that doesn't really take any effort, does it?
Well, it's on your channel.
Oh, great. Thanks for ruining that illusion for us.
I mean, like personal content. I haven't done anything in a little while, and it's going to be a while before I can actually do that. So,
right, Pancakes, go.
All right, we're starting a new show at the end of this podcast called What's on Pancake's Desk, and today we have a couple of used tissues, and
Pancakes has a cold.
Buzz Lightyear.
Did not need to show us the used tissues.
Yeah, we don't know what those tissues were for, actually. You don't really have a runny nose, so you can only guess.
It was from a couple months ago, I'll be honest with you.
Wow.
And you kept them?
You need to exercise your rights a little bit more.
It was a fantastic wank. An epic. What?
Fantastic.
It was just glorious and fire and love and
It was
rainbows. All right, go to Core next. Go, because Trendane's a little bit lost right now. He's verklempt. All right, go ahead, Core.
I am a live streamer. I stream on Twitch. My channel can be found by basically my name down below. Just to add that behind Twitch TV. And I'm actually starting up my streaming again because I've been out of it because I just recently got married on November 15th.
And you got a PlayStation 4 which can stream.
Yeah, that will be until the 29th. And again, let's be honest, there's no fucking release games for it. It's kind of a shit show. But other than that,
shut down the Twitch
like
streaming.
Grand Theft Auto, like everybody else.
Also that. Anyway,
somebody had sex on stream.
What they did is they got their female counterpart completely drunk and then lifted their shirt. Then 15 minutes later, the cam went off, came back on, and she was naked. So it was basically just sexual assault. Anyway, point is, this has nothing to do with my Twitch channel. There will be no nudity on there, unfortunately, and no sexual assaults either. But if you want to see me fuck around on new games, that's basically all I do. Is I buy new games or get them for free and then just play them. So I do some reviews. I will be streaming daily starting sometime this week, and it'll probably be short for now because I'm still really busy. But pretty soon I'll be kicking it into full gear, and anyone who wants to come, join, hang out, you're fucking welcome.
All right, Trendane, real quick.
Trendane everywhere.
Everywhere. Thank you. And I'm Geekdomo. This video will be available on YouTube as soon as possible. It probably won't be ready till tomorrow morning because even though I uploaded it, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes long already. And so it takes a while for YouTube to re-render it and all that bullshit. So it'll be available probably first thing tomorrow. I'll put it on Reddit and Twitter and all these other places. So you can watch it if you missed part of the show. And thank you so much for coming over here tonight. It was one of our biggest shows yet, so thank you. Excellent. Thanks, everybody. And
thank you guys all very much for being here, and I hope you guys all have a good day.
Yep. And we will see you all very soon. Until next time, see ya.
Giving you a hug. Didn't really work out.
That's weird. Okay, good night. Bye-bye.
That close.